Why study distant planets when there are enough problems on Earth? This is a question often asked by skeptics who think that the efforts of astrophysicists are just a waste of time, and everything that happens outside of Earth doesn't concern us. How wrong they are. After all, for the last 215 million years, Jupiter and Venus haven't left the Earth to exist peacefully. Every 405,000 years, these planets alter the orbit of our planet, thereby dramatically changing the Earth's climate and causing large-scale extinctions. Right now, we're just in the middle of this cycle. In conjunction with the influence of we humans, in 200,000 years, this may lead to the next extinction event, which will involve people. But until that time, we should entertain ourselves with something interesting. For example, why not play Vikings War of Clans, a phenomenal real-time multiplayer strategy game with over 20 million players. The entire story of the game takes place in the gloomy northern lands, where Viking warlords fight over every bit of valuable territory. The developers asked me to try this game, and after just 5 minutes, I was hooked. It features engaging visual style, full of superior three-dimensional images, along with an exciting soundtrack that will allow you to immediately travel to this Viking world. Another thing I really liked is that the game is not a shooter in real time. Just blink your eyes once and bam, you're dead till the end of the match. Here, I can play for 5 minutes or 5 hours and enter the game or leave it whenever I want thanks to this. Help and support my channel by downloading Vikings for free, only from the link in the description, and get a special bonus of 200 gold coins and a protective shield. What a pity that mankind, which creates such incredible games, may disappear. And this will happen just because of these two planets, scientists believe. What dangers the rest may hold is still unknown. Next, crazy thoughts begin to creep into our minds. Should we destroy these planets so as not to expose life on Earth to danger? Or to go even further and destroy absolutely all the planets of our solar system except ours, in order to fully protect ourselves for many billions of years? What would be the consequences of such a crazy experiment? In 2016, American scientists devised a plan to blow up the planet Mercury, creating a system of mirrors around the Sun from its fragments, in order to collect energy for the needs of mankind. If, nevertheless, such a mad plan were to be carried out, it most likely would not affect us in any way. The wreckage of the smallest planet in the solar system would fall towards the Sun and burn up in its flames. Earthlings wouldn't feel that a planet, whose surface area is larger than Eurasia and South America combined, just disappeared in the expanses of the universe. However, unlike Mercury, the destruction of such planets as Mars or Venus would be a real catastrophe for humanity. The truth largely depends on the method of destruction. The most realistic way to get rid of Venus or Mars is to bomb them out of existence. But there's one nuance about this. If you break these planets into small pieces, the fragments will immediately be pushed together under the force of their own gravity. Therefore, the power of the explosion would have to be many times greater than the gravitational force of the planet. In Venus, this figure is about 198 nonjillion joules, which is much more energy than the Sun produces in 1 second, 380 octillion joules. Thus, if Venus were to explode, a flash with the energy of 1 million suns should form. As a result, the side of the Earth that faces Venus at the moment of explosion will incinerate to ashes. But the destruction will not end there, especially if Mars explodes simultaneously with Venus. The gravitational force of Mars is much weaker, so you should not expect a super powerful flash. However, the debris of the red planet together with the fragments of Venus will form a giant swarm of space debris whose mass will outweigh the entire asteroid belt. The numerous fragments of the two planets will be drawn toward the nearest object with a large mass, that is, to Earth. So, our planet will be under fire from giant space rocks that can destroy the part of the Earth that remained intact after the super-powerful flash from the explosion of Venus. So imagine that all the rocky planets like Earth are destroyed. There are only gas giants left, and as you know, gas can be ignited with a single spark. Something similar was shown in one of the episodes of the series Star Trek Enterprise. Flames from a spacecraft landing on Jupiter set fire to its atmosphere, which is 90% hydrogen. A hellish blast sounded, and the planet was set ablaze. However, in real life, such a situation is impossible. Oxygen is required for combustion, and the level of oxygen on gas giants is too low to support ignition of the planet. Since it's impossible to set Jupiter ablaze, why not try to blow it up? To destroy the largest planet in the solar system would require 10 quintillion nuclear bombs. This is 4 times the mass of the Moon, and in an equivalent explosion force of TNT, it's almost half the mass of the Sun. Our earthly resources can provide only 1,000 of the necessary weapons for the destruction of Jupiter. Since the gravitational force of this planet is 1,000 times greater than that of the Earth, such a super powerful radiance will emerge that the side of the Earth facing the gas giant will suffer much worse destruction than with the explosion of Venus. However, there is another way to erase Jupiter from the expanse of the solar system. For example, we might scorch the planet with the help of the Sun. Of course, Jupiter, like other gas giants, is protected from solar radiation due to a special form of hydrogen. This substance reflects solar radiation, thereby protecting Jupiter from evaporation. If the gas giant is gradually brought closer to the Sun, the production of this hydrogen increases even more. But when Jupiter comes within about 22 million kilometers or 13.6 million miles, the protective hydrogen will simply cease to be effective, and the largest planet in the solar system will dissipate like a puff of smoke. Although this option will have to be set aside because bringing Jupiter so close to the Sun would throw the Earth out of its orbit. So we need other methods. It's likely that in the near future there will be other options. For example, spacecraft with warp engines. During flight with such a spacecraft, space and all the particles will be compressed in the path of the powerful engines. But as soon as the ship slows down, all the matter collected by it will become a space bullet, destroying everything in its path. True, if you use the wrong warp engine, you might destroy Earth at the same time. But there is one huge disadvantage. Such an engine won't be invented anytime soon. However, when the technology of the future develops, allowing us to remove Jupiter without serious consequences, we'll still feel its absence. The largest planet in our solar system for billions of years has served as a reliable shield for the planet Earth. With its powerful gravity, Jupiter attracts asteroids, meteors, and comets. In its absence, all these space objects will fall to Earth as frequently as new interesting videos appear on the Ridddle channel. As for the rest of the gas giants, the best way to destroy them is to collide them into each other. The only method by which this can be achieved is to move something supermassive to the edge of the solar system. For example, a star that would be able to push Neptune, Uranus, and Saturn out of their orbits by the force of gravity. As a result, the gas giants will begin to collide with destructive force, unless, of course, they leave the solar system entirely. A massive foreign star in our solar system could also affect objects in the so-called Kuiper belt. They'll be thrown out of the solar system, or vice versa, will move closer to the Earth. As a result of these migrations, Ex-planet Pluto could possibly become Earth's second moon. With the disappearance of all the gas giants, the amount of space debris raining down on Earth will only increase. After all, Saturn also attracts a large number of meteors and asteroids, although not as much as Jupiter does. Except for a short moment after the destruction of all the gas giants, the satellites of Neptune, Uranus, Saturn, and Jupiter will go, so to speak, into free navigation through our solar system. The closest massive object that will remain after the destruction of all the other planets is Earth. Therefore, in addition to the bombardment of asteroids, the Earth will likely be destroyed by Titan, Enceladus, Europa, and the satellites of the other planets. These are space objects where scientists once found possible conditions for life, and will now bring us only death. Since the Earth will be completely alone and all the gravitational interaction of the planets has disappeared, our planet will most likely leave the habitable zone and move closer to the Sun. That means life in the solar system will never recover again. Why did I even make this video, you ask? Well, first of all, when I came across this information online, I just could not resist giving you these 10 minutes of total chaos, because I know you all love crazy explosions and various apocalypses, and especially anything when it comes to space. And of course, there's a grain of common sense in this madness. This experiment proves once again how perfect our world is, how much everything is interconnected. It only takes a little to break this fragile balance and for everything to go really badly. Of course, some planets have a negative impact on ours, but this does not compare with the consequences that the Earth would suffer after the destruction of these planets. To minimize the negative impact of other planets on Earth, it's better to create powerful means of protection instead of destroying them. Well, let's not forget about the inevitable move to other planets. After 200,000 years of evolution, our technologies should easily allow us to surf the vast universe, regardless of such concerns like distances of thousands of light years. Indeed, after 200,000 years, the energy consumption of our civilization could reach the power of an entire galaxy, and humanity will probably call itself a Type 3 civilization. It's impossible to describe in a single sentence what range of opportunities will open up for us at this level of development. So I suggest we talk about this topic in an upcoming episode. Give a thumbs up if you want a video about a Type 3 civilization, and write your thoughts about it in the comments. If you like this video format and would like to see similar mental experiments on my channel more often, write this hashtag in the comments.